brownies for my kids for preschool one year.
Well, there we go. Melissa, have you ever done it? You didn't answer. Have you ever done the Frankenstein dance?
No.
Okay, well, we'll have to go out sometime and do the Frankenstein dance, okay? And I like Frankenstein. I think he was very much misunderstood. I don't think he had quite maybe, I think he was totally a person that, or a creature, a monster, or whatever, that was totally misunderstood. And I think that, of course, he was afraid of fire. He got built whenever by someone that didn't give him direction, so he didn't have a lot of guidance. So anyway, today is Frankenstein Day. Today is also International Whale Shark Day. Woo. All right. You guys are gonna love this, Melissa and Laura on the road today. Motorist Consideration Monday.
Ooh, with all this rain coming in, that'll
please be considerate, right?
Yeah.
So let's use this. Let's use our turn signals, right? Make sure. I had a guy that told me that he was behind a guy that just got a brand new truck, and the truck was beautiful, and he said he didn't use the guy with the new truck didn't use a turn signal one, and said he pulled over to get gas, and he said he goes, I pulled in behind him, and I said, what a beautiful truck. And he said, yeah, thank you, I just got it. And he said, well, it's a shame it doesn't have a turn signal on it. So let's be considerate, right? Considerate Monday. This is also National Beach Day. Melissa, you love to go to the beach?
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Laura?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The waves call you, don't they? This is also very good on this, and we get too much of this, National Grief Awareness Day. National Toasted Marshmallow Day. Do you like your marshmallows toasted, Melissa?
No, I'm not a marshmallow fan.
What about you, Laura?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I kind of like them burnt. Even if you burn it, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
All right, National Slinky Day. Ooh, can anybody do it? Slinky, it's Slinky.
I like to think I can, but it's
do the song. Yeah, down the steps.
And what walks upstairs, the loner impairs.
Yes, it makes a slinky. What is it? How does it go?
A marvelous swing.
Everyone knows it's Slinky. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yay! That's fun. Boy, you knew a lot of that, a lot better than I did. Yay! So get out and enjoy. I do want to say on a personal note, I've been watching, last night they did a special show on 9/11, and we're getting closer and closer to that time. And I just want to say, if you get a chance to watch that special and to go back, and not that we should all, I just think we should all have that remembrance, and going back how what a tragic day that was for America.
Now that's true.
Yeah. And to go back over and just kind of go, I did get a chance to go to New York, and I went to the where it took place, and toured. They have a where you can go back, you can go and look, and they have like different notes that people had written to their loved ones. They have it's so touching. It's such a and I stayed in the hotel that actually is right next to it, and their windows were blowed out. But it was just, of course they're fixed now, but it was just such a thing to, and I think we all need to just kind of go back over and remind ourselves that, so many of us say, well, that's a day we'll never forget, but it's amazing, the events that went on that day.
Well, and I think that it shows that, like, as a nation, that we can all come together, because right now it seems like that our nation is so splintered apart due to, all kinds of things. It's like now we're not near as united as what we were after that happened, after that tragedy.
I agree. And you see the heroes, you hear the stories, and the tragic, and when we went to New York, I always try to find people that were involved that I can just talk to, because I just try to get my head around, wrapped around the activities that went on, and how down there, I talked to several that were actually in the lower parts of the building, and they had no idea of what was going on, and of course, in the beginning, they just thought somebody had a heart attack or something happened. No one dreamed that it was what it was going to be, and how much more there was to come.
Right.
And those heroic, from the firemen to the policemen, to the EMTs and everybody that was involved. I mean, and just, and knowing that they might not come out of that was just, it's really just, it's just a lot. I think it's something that we just, I might be I'm just, it's just so, it's so sad, but so fascinating.
Absolutely.
So, definitely, and I think there'll be more of those shows, specials that we'll be talking about it. So, we might be able to talk to someone too from that time. We're going to try to get some interviews in here. Changing the subject a little bit here. Hurricane Ida weakened to a tropical storm Monday after crashing into Louisiana, which, bless their hearts, they just did not need that.
Oh, no.
They've been knocked down so many times on that stuff.
They said some of them was still trying to rebuild.
Oh, absolutely.
That I think, what was it, 40% is all that had moved back after the last hurricane destroyed
Heartbreaking.
everything.
It's just, yes. I'm thinking, no. It did knock out the power to more than 1 million homes and businesses, including the city of New Orleans. Officials earlier warned of life-threatening floods. At least one person, a 60-year-old man, died after a tree fell on his home. And it looks like we will be experiencing Ida's winds and rains over the next couple of days here in our area. That's the thing about flooding. The way I understand it is when you have a flooded area, there's some people that will not evacuate. There are some people that will not leave their homes, and for whatever reason, and that's very scary and very sad. And you just pray to those people, whatever reason, either they can get some kind of higher ground or somewhere that they can get, that they can be safe.
Sad. Very sad.
Yeah. So anyway, so we shall be getting some rains and storms coming up the next few days in our listening area, which I do welcome the rain for sure. Not the storms, but the rain.
Yeah.
Just want to also, today the thunderstorms could produce locally heavy rainfall and minor flooding. So again, just a good reminder on that. When you come up on standing water, do not go through it. Go around. And I know the temptation of that, but
Absolutely.
just want you to be safe out there. And they do have a lot of impact in our community. Tuesday night, widespread rain from looks like Tuesday and Tuesday night. Banded heavy rain could cause localized flash flooding again. And down another avenue, another squirrel, like a bird dog over here. I guess a hunting dog. The Reds split their series with the last place Florida Marlins, winning Friday night 6-1, and then losing Saturday and Sunday. The Reds host St. Louis and Cincinnati tonight at 6:40. We'll be joined by the pregame at 6. The Reds have a 72% chance of making the playoffs. On my phone it always has a poll, and it'll say, "Will the Reds win tonight?" And I always hit yes. I am their positive. No matter what, yes, they're going to win. Yes. The Colts beat the Detroit Lions in their first preseason game Friday night. Ryan Blaney won the Coke Zero 400 Saturday night in Daytona, and Justin Haley won the Xfinity race that was postponed Friday night due to rain. And Eastern traveled to northern Indiana. It's called Eleanor, Indiana, and Friday night to play the Cougars after the regular game of Crawford County was canceled. They did a good game. The Musketeers fell though 43-12, but the Musketeers are doing good, and we were very proud of them. Eastern plays at home on this Friday night against Brownstown, which will be tough. Salem and West Washington continue to be on virtual education mode this week. Salem has a special school board meeting tonight at 6:30. West Washington has a special meeting scheduled for Wednesday at 7. And so we'll see what happens on that. But that's kind of where we're at right now on our sports action. But we do have some IU football tickets and some Purdue football tickets will be given away to our community. So it looks like those games will be going on. So we'll see how that happens. All right. So that's kind of everything that I know. All right. Now let's jump in, Melissa. Let's find out what all's going on with Hoosier Uplands and all that you got going on, because so many things you do, so many different avenues that you have going on at Hoosier Uplands.
We are still we're still open for business, even with all the things going on with the increase in COVID in our area. I do know that some of the Head Start centers, of course, are affected because they base everything based on the school district that Head Start's located in. But as far as home health and hospice, we're still out. We're still doing visits with our patients, and that we are seeing a great uptick in COVID cases in the area.
Right, and we do want to talk, and I really hope that that you hit that hard, your platform on that. But I do want to say that more now than ever, probably the hospice. I'm thinking, because we do know there's been so many that have not had their loved ones or their family members or these decisions, and families. I mean, this has got to be really, really tough on families and the loved ones.
Yeah, it has been very tough on loved ones and families, and you also have patients and families that are not necessarily all in the same area, and then they're not sure, should we come visit, should we not come visit, because they're afraid of bringing in COVID from another area into their loved one. So it's just a bad time for everyone concerned, and I know that also probably it's starting to be seen, probably the same type of things with the skilled nursing facilities.
Sure. Yeah, I think so, because they have to keep a really a tight ship there, and I think that's something that they tried to make sure of too. But I think that as far as the hospice and all that Hoosier Uplands does is so important, and of course we know the family members. This is not easy. Nobody has easy decisions, and everybody, these decisions are you just don't know what decisions to be making sometimes in this.
Right. But I do know, like that with our staff, whenever we go into the homes, we're still wearing our mask, and still, like screening, all of our staff screen each morning to make sure that they don't have any symptoms of COVID. Then whenever before we go into the homes, we call the patients and, check to make sure that if they have, any symptoms, and we'll still go if they have symptoms, but then, we go ahead and we do goggles and the N95 mask if there's, potential COVID in a home. But, with all of our patients, we're wearing our mask, and we're doing frequent hand washing, and, we're doing all the things that we can to keep our staff safe and also to keep our patients and their families safe. And, thank goodness, at this point in time, we've not had any situations where a staff member has contracted COVID from a patient, or where a patient has contracted COVID from a staff member of ours. So, I do think that those measures, are working with the mask and, with the hand washing, and with, we do have to get up close to the patient to do our, hands-on assessment and our vital signs, but then, we distance, for, things where we can distance. So I do feel those things work.
Awesome. And what about getting vaccinated, Melissa?
Well, one of the things I kind of wanted to read, it's a reading type thing, but one of my friends that lives in Illinois, he had a kidney transplant several years ago. He's a couple years older than I am, and his sister had donated her kidney to him. And so he had posted a thing on Facebook, and I had asked him if I could share it with other people, because I think it's good to know how a person feels that does have a decreased immune system, and it's kind of a message from a person that does have low immunity as to their thoughts on the COVID vaccine.
We'd love to hear that. Yes.
And so he got his booster last week. It was time for him to have his booster shot. So he's vaccinated plus now has the booster. But he said, okay, say what you will, I just got my booster shot. I know there's a lot of people who don't believe in getting a COVID shot, and I am not going to argue about it. I have seen people get sick, and I've seen people die from getting COVID. It was a game changer for me when a close friend who had a kidney transplant and had diabetes got COVID. He passed away from COVID. He didn't die from diabetes nor transplant failure. I didn't get a kidney transplant just so this virus can take it away or that I can die from it. I know people are scared of getting the shot, which I don't understand. I promised my sister I would take care of her kidney. I will not let her down because I was afraid of getting sick from the shot or any other stupid reason. I know people have a choice. People have free will, so to speak. I'm going to do all I can to keep this kidney as long as I can, or until God says it's my time. If you decide to get the shot, good for you. If you decide not to, don't be careless and come around me without a mask. Please mask up if you come around me. I know that's another issue. Laugh out loud. I have a low immune system. I didn't ask for it, but I will do all I can to help it. And that was it. But I feel like, we do need to keep in mind that, if someone chooses to not get the vaccine, or if they choose to get the vaccine, and if they're going to be around people and you know that you're going to visit a person in their home, or you're going, to visit someone and you haven't had the vaccine, I do feel that it's wise to wear a mask when you're around that person, and make sure and wash your hands, and make sure and try to distance from the person, because, even if, you aren't at high risk of dying from the vaccine, that person, or not the vaccine, but from COVID, that person that's your loved one potentially is. So, I do think that it's important to look out for others.
Right. And so, yeah, absolutely. And that was something that we really want to stress, being a good neighbor, being a good part of, society, and being a good citizen, and being responsible.
Right.
And going back on he wasn't from Indiana, right?
No, he's from Illinois.
Okay. Because I was saying, because Indiana has not got the booster yet. And my understanding, unless something just happened over the weekend, but
I thought it was September 20th or
I think,
something.
the 20th of September, that they're supposed to be getting the booster, but they are doing the third shot for those, but you have to have certain conditions, and that's something that you have to contact the health department and for an evaluation on that. So they are making exceptions on the third shot, but as far as the boosters here in Indiana, we've not received those yet. That was my understanding.
Well, but the third shot would be a booster.
Well, no, there's an actual difference. That's what, I didn't understand it, Melissa, either. Yeah, there's an actual third shot they're doing for those that are more compromised. And I don't know that she said that she didn't want to tell the conditions. She wanted, because there would be such a, but she wants to, hang on, let me explain that right. Call the health department and tell them your conditions and your conditions, and then possibly you can get there's a third shot. She said it's different than the booster.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was new to me too, but she said it's been on the news. I did not have it. I've not had any information on it either. But
but maybe it's still, maybe it's like they're calling it, like a third shot and only making it for the people that have the conditions that need it right away, and then maybe they're calling like what a healthy individual would get, they're calling it a booster.
Maybe. I don't know. That would be something.
Doing a different terminology.
Maybe, maybe so. I just know there's been a lot of people that have asked about the boosters, and I know that in September there'll probably be a lot of people that will get those. But as far as the getting the vaccination too, I think now that the FDA has approved it, and I think it's got that stamp of approval. Do you feel like there's a difference in it, Melissa?
Do I feel what?
That there's a difference.
Cut out at the very end.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You said, do you feel like
that more people are getting the booster now that the FDA has approved the booster? I mean, the Pfizer.
I don't feel they are.
Okay.
But that's just my personal opinion.
Right. Well, I just was wondering if what your thoughts were on that. If you feel like, I thought that it might make more people more feel comfortable, I guess, if you will. That
I was hoping that it doesn't appear like I'm on the National Association for Home Care board, and I know that we have a COVID meeting once a month, and it doesn't appear like from a national standpoint that it seems like the people that got it, and then like you have the people that have opted to not get it. It doesn't seem that the FDA approval has helped to sway them over the fence. Okay. But I do know, I pulled up while we were talking that I have a number from August the 16th that was the number of people that were in IU hospital in Bedford, Bloomington, Morgan, and Paoli. And there were 45 people hospitalized with COVID, and only 4 of those people were vaccinated. So, so you had 41 that were not vaccinated, 4 that were vaccinated, and then they had 12 people that were unvaccinated in the ICU. 0 of the people in the ICU were vaccinated, and they had 2 people on ventilators, and 0 of the people on ventilators were vaccinated. So it does appear that the people, even if they are getting sick and requiring a hospital stay, that they're not getting as sick as some of the people that have not been vaccinated.
Right. And we've heard that's what we've been hearing around, and which is, because you have people that will say, oh, well, there's people still getting it even though they've been vaccinated, but the conditions that they are getting their symptoms are not as severe, is what we're hearing too.
Well, and they also could be people that also had really, had other comorbidity type illnesses, because it doesn't really say, were these people, healthy otherwise, or, were they somebody that had COPD or, heart problems, or, they had cancer. So it would be interesting to know if the people that were hospitalized, if they had past history of chronic illness.
Right. Now, Melissa, what's been most of the reason that you've heard from people that haven't got the vaccination? What's the reason for not getting it? What's the reason for not getting it, and what's the reason for getting it? I guess let's do both sides of the coin there.
It seems to me the people that I have heard that have not gotten it is because they don't trust the vaccine. They're afraid of the vaccine. They, for whatever reason, they just don't feel comfortable getting the vaccine. But then on the 4, why you get the vaccine. I've heard people on the flip side of that say that, well, we've always stayed up to date on our vaccines, and so, we feel like that we should get this vaccine in addition to the ones that we've gotten in the past. And then I've even heard people that have been in the military that have said that whenever you go into the military and they give you, they pretty much tell you, we're going to vaccinate you based on where you're going in the world or whatever. And they give, they get so many vaccines that, they feel like that's, a reason why they should get the vaccine, because they've trusted all the other vaccines. So it's just kind of, there's both sides of the coin on that. It's like some people trust it because they've had all the other vaccines, but then for some reason or another, people don't trust this one vaccine even though they've trusted the others.
Well, I think too, it's like when it came into, into the, when it showed up, I think everybody, first of all, worried about the it being rushed. And, and I'm not, I'm just trying to just, think what I'm hearing, that it was rushed and it was put together quickly, and maybe there was some unknown. And of course, at that time too, remember how we've learned so much with COVID, and then you think, well, I'll take that back. You think you've learned something, and then COVID goes a different route. It goes a different direction. So everything you say today might be changed till tomorrow. And I think that uncertainty has made people nervous, but we still have to realize that these are people that know how to, these people, these medical professionals, give them a lot of respect on coming up with this. And of course, they're not going to do anything to hurt anyone. And we do have, like you said, we have the flu shot, we have other vaccinations and things, and I saw on social media, someone said, we don't even know sometimes in hot dogs, you know what I mean? But we trust that, right?
Uh-huh.
Right.
Well, and I think too, when they did this COVID vaccine, instead of just having a certain number of scientists developing it, I think they was all working on it rather than, because we were in a pandemic, whereas other times it may not have been as detrimental to hurry up and get a vaccine as it was with the COVID vaccine. But I don't think people realize that.
Right. I think
well, and then also this isn't a live vaccine, and I know that there have in the past been live vaccines that we've gotten, and to me that makes it more safe that it's not a live. It's not like they're giving us a little bit of COVID and having us get over it like they've done with some of the flu vaccines in the past. But now the flu vaccine is not live. That at one point in time, the flu vaccines were a live virus, and so it's not like they're giving us COVID. It's not a live vaccine.
Right, and I think that was something that everybody really wanted to put out there, because I think that was a fear of some.
I don't know. I don't understand. I just don't understand. Some people get it, for loved ones, like they get it. I've heard some people saying, that the reason they get their vaccine is because they want to help protect other people, whether it be, an actual person that they know or just being a good neighbor and trying to, not give it to someone that, may not recover from it. And then some people have said that they want to get the vaccine because they want to be able to get back to normal, one day, and so it's like they wanted to get it so that maybe we can get rid of this pandemic. We cannot have so many people sick, so that we're all, still needing to mask and social distance and to get back into a more normal time.
Right, and we're seeing where the hospitals are being flooded with patients, and I think it's overwhelming for our medical field. And I think we have to really do our best to respect the medical field and do our part to keep everyone safe and hopefully away from from the hospitals.
Right.
Yeah. So you go to different counties, and I guess because Hoosier Uplands, you've got 5 major counties that you're in, and you guys are such big parts of each county that you are in, and you do so many great things. But are you seeing, Melissa, where there's more clinics available for testing and also more clinics available for shots?
I say the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I feel like that, now that schools have reopened recently, that it's harder to get someone in for a COVID test because there's so many people needing them. Because now not only do you have everyone else who was potentially needing them, but now you have like students, and then like if you have one student exposed and then possibly in contact with 60 other students, then you have 60 people looking for a way to get COVID tested versus just one person. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, and then, we've seen where like Walmart's carrying them, but, they can't keep them in because they're, as soon as they come in, they go right off the shelf because there's so many people that are doing that home testing. And I just, right now on social media, it says, where can I get a rapid test done around here? People are trying to find them, and a lot of the, places are not doing them anymore.
It's rough.
Well, and also with the COVID vaccine, they have, they've closed some of the places that were giving them because there wasn't the interest, I guess.
Yeah.
Or,
well, because when they actually when they open up that, they are supposed to use so many people, and if they have that sitting there, it doesn't keep forever.
right.
So it's definitely a lot, but I think there are some. I know there were some in Scottsburg, and I know Floyd Central had some, and I know they're around. So I think we are possibly talking about getting some stuff, maybe COVID testing or COVID shot places, maybe possibly. But right now, nothing that can be announced. You know what I mean? So there's some behind the scenes stuff, but definitely. And as far as the COVID testing, I think that's something too that is something that's tricky to find again. I don't know if they'll open up more places again.
I hope so.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, because I think that, now it's like there's places you can, there are places you can go to be tested, but the length of time that it takes to get in to be tested is taking longer.
Yeah, I think even the pharmacies was like 4 and 5 days out to schedule testing.
Schedule testing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I think that's a lot. And of course we know there's the test that also, if you do a home test,
you can't find those hardly anywhere anymore. The pharmacist, I was talking with him at Walmart over the weekend, and he said as quick as they get them in, they're gone.
Right. And they say they're accurate. You just have to make sure that you do them right, because it's kind of it's not a real comfortable, as far as that needs to go up, and you have to make sure that you go all the way, up there. And but if you do that, they are very accurate, and everyone that I've heard has said that they had seen where it came back and they had positive, but they did it right.
Yeah,
it's painful, but you have to do it right.
Absolutely.
Read the instructions, read the directions. But also, then we talked about that too, is that with that, that's not going to be on the data that we are given from the state, because a lot of them do not call, and they don't have to call on that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And so that was my thought, was how, when we talked with the health department, I was like, how are you going to know? And here's the thing that what you're supposed to do, if your test comes back positive, you are supposed to go to the actual doctor's office or doctor to get another test done, or to your wherever they're testing, to get a professional test done, and so that it can be in the data of for the state.
But then but then you're probably also skewing the numbers a bit on like the positivity, because if you have people that are taking them and they're negative, those are not being reported at all.
No, not at all. Nope. No. And so that was my thought, was how do you know what's going on with it? But it's something. But that they're trying, I guess, trying to keep as much information as they can. But I think it's the degree of difficult. But I was in another state. This has been a few weeks ago, well, actually 3 or 4 weeks ago now, in New York, and they had on one corner they had a testing site, another corner they had the shot. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, or all of, I mean, it was very available for you to get the testing or the shot. You know what I mean? It was right there, and I don't know if that's something that is pro. Some, of course they have larger numbers, but still, I don't know if that's something that we can consider doing, or trying to make it more available for people. And affordable, free.
Yeah, but I guess so that you wouldn't want to necessarily send the people for the vaccine the same place that they were getting tested.
No.
You could end up exposing.
Yeah. Well, and then that's another thing too we talked about too. We have people that they got the test and they find out they're positive, and instead of going home and quarantining, they are going and getting Gatorade, or going and getting their maybe chicken noodle soup or whatever they need. And
I think some people don't understand the severity of like staying home.
Yeah.
Because like because like in the past, if you had gone to a doctor and like let's say you had strep throat, it wouldn't really be the end of the world if you went ahead and went to the grocery and picked up the items you were going to need to be in for the next 3 or 4 days. Whereas with COVID, that's a different animal.
Yeah, exactly. And we are very blessed. We have the pickup, the drive up pickup. And we also at the pharmacy, you can actually pick up, and so drive through, and also the grocery online pickup. And also there's a lot of churches and individuals that will bring it to your porch and leave it. And we know a lot of the schools are taking good care of the food for the families. So we are very blessed in our community that we live in, for sure. Melissa?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if you were there. Okay, so going back, the word is let's try to get the vaccination, and let's see, and we'll let anyone know that if we have any certain spots and stuff. But right now, they can just go to their local doctors or the health department. Are they going to start doing shots again? I cannot. What did they say? I can't remember.
I know the local pharmacies are doing it. If you watch, a lot of the towns are having pop-up clinics and things opening.
So I know they're trying to get those, get those around here, and we'll sure let everyone know when we find out. But some of the other things that Hoosier Uplands does, Melissa, as far as like childcare, as far as the Head Start, it's always been a wonderful program in our community and surrounding communities.
Yeah, we do Head Start. We also assist with weatherization type needs. We have apartments that are based on income. We do a AAA, which can help get people services that maybe the home health and hospice, maybe they don't qualify for home health or hospice, but they can qualify for things like Medicaid waiver and choice and other programs through our AAA. And then we do Serenity Now, which is a behavioral health clinic that we have in Bedford. It's kind of like that David Miller, that's our CEO, we're very blessed to have him because he's definitely a person that he looks, he actively seeks out needs in our communities and then tries to find a way to get those needs taken care of.
Absolutely, for sure. And we give him all kinds of praise on that. Love that for sure. And what a blessing for the counties that that Hoosier Uplands is involved in. And Serenity now is such a blessing that we have that, and for people, because there's not a lot of facilities that you can have, but also, and they have options too, that if you do not feel like you feel, where you can go in person, they do have the Zoom, which is, or you can do in person, or you can do person, or like in person, or Zoom, or you have options.
Yeah, the only thing is there are, and I do not know their regulations, but I do know that there are some people that for their first visit they do have to be seen in person. But I don't know what criteria that is. But there are some times that you have to go to your first meeting in person. But it's not all the time. It's just based on what's going on with the patient and the pay sources and things.
Right. And let's do, we need to go over the 5 counties that Hoosier Uplands serves.
We do Lawrence, Orange, Crawford, Martin, and Washington.
Yay. Very good. And very blessed to have such a wonderful facility in our community and the surrounding communities, for sure.
And then our phone number is 800-827-2219. And if you call that number, that's our number at our main building. And if the service isn't available inside the main building, they will direct you the number to call to get the service that you're searching for.
Awesome. Well, Melissa, and of course, I know you love your job, and I know you love what you do, and the people are Hoosier Uplands are above and beyond, and you talk about very involved in all that they do for the community. And as far as anybody, we are, as far as the warm temperature, and having fans or having someone helping everyone keep air flowing on that has been wonderful. But also we'll be getting into the cooler temperatures, and that's when Hoosier Uplands, they can call and find out what's available for and if they qualify.
Right.
So that's something to keep in mind too. And so, and also the wonderful hospice program is so important. And so, if you've ever seen the hospice in, all that they do, I hope everyone realizes that, that it's such a great program, and what a blessing, to utilize that, for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Melissa, keep up the great work and keep all that you do at Hoosier Uplands. And thank you so much for taking time for us this morning. And we're glad to have you on each Monday or every once a month, and talk about all the great things that Hoosier Uplands does, and all the different, avenues that you've got. I think you've got pretty well everything covered just about in the community.
Yeah, we do a diverse amount of things in the community, and it's just, like I said, all based on what is seen as a need.
Right. Well, keep up the great work, and and tell David Miller and all the group hi, and thank you again for calling in this morning, Melissa. Stay healthy and take care, and just like Melissa said, let's get vaccinated for those that are not, and and do it for yourself, and do it for your loved ones and your community.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa,
for having me.
All right. Thank you, honey. Okay. Bye, hon. All right, Melissa Jeremiah from Hoosier Uplands, and anyway, and I know she wanted to make sure that she talked about getting vaccinated, and we'll let you know if there's any other, I guess pop-up areas that have it, or they're trying to find locations, and of course that takes a little bit of time, and you're talking about the state coming down trying to figure out, and they like an area. The way I understand it is that they kind of do the drive-through that makes it has easy access in and easy access out.
Absolutely. So hopefully we can find one in Washington County and not ruin it this time.
So I'm going to use something now, Laura. Tell me if I'm using this right, okay?
Okay.
So you want a parking lot that has the easy access in and easy access out. If not, you don't want to get bottlenecked inside of the parking lot. Am I saying that right?
It's
Am I
true.
Did I use that term right? Yeah, where everybody's trying to go one direction, and everyone's trying to go the other direction. They're called bottleneck.
Yes.
Are you impressed?
I am.
Look
You've
at
been
that.
working with the people out of the bypass, haven't you?
I have. Yeah. Can you tell? We don't want any bottlenecking going on. That's such. What you think about bottlenecking? I mean, you think that's such a funny thing.
It
I
is.
know. Yes, and our speaking of that, our roundabout is
Yeah.
getting done. It's getting there, getting done, and it's going to be not too much longer.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and the weather's been cooperating with them. Of course, I imagine this week they'll have some storms. It'll put them, back a little. I don't know what what they can do. In storms, I don't think much.
Not much, I wouldn't think.
Yeah,
I'm ready for it to be done.
yeah.
Give it a try.
I think with all the people in your family with construction, that weather depends a lot on construction,
Absolutely.
right? Whether you can or you can't and everything. So
I've refrained from griping and complaining about a roundabout. I just
accept it.
excited
Embrace
for
it,
it
Laura.
to be
Embrace
done.
it. Yeah.
Once it's completed and I've gave it a whirl, then I can complain about it.
Well,
Because I gave it a try.
There you go. That's right. I stay positive. It's funny because after when we talked about it on the radio, like my phone, my messages on Facebook will blow up.
Absolutely.
People, you're for it? Why are you for
No,
that? No, I'm not. It does not matter whether Laura or Becky is for it or not. It's happening. It's in the process.
I've said this since they started saying a roundabout. Do I like roundabouts? No. I do not think it makes a lick of sense to me in my mind and my rationale. However, that is what the state has gifted us. So we need to accept that gift and give it a chance.
Are we not supposed to receive when we receive a gift?
It's going to be what it is, and I may be the first one that goes flying over it because I forget that it's there, but, just stop and help me if I do.
If I see you going.
If
you see your brother standing back, going over I'm going to, Ben Campbell.
It's such a habit just to drive straight.
You're going the wrong way. You've got to try a little kindness. Yeah. I will tell you, you're going the wrong way, Laura. You're doing it. Remember, I'm Mr. Mom. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Well,
that'll be me.
I'm sure. I think there's only one way to go. So,
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
One direction. I don't know. I personally, when you hear them, and I'm just please be easy on messaging me because I'm only telling you I'm the messenger.
Yes.
Okay. And when they say that this is actually safer and that you're such a large area, there a caution or a stoplight would not have worked in such a. You gotta realize that north, south, and east and west direction, are such a large area that a stoplight would not work, and I'm not qualified. I'm not.
I thought about that. Why didn't we get a stoplight? But then I think, the hill going down from like Southway Villa, if that was icy or something, that would be a complete disaster.
Yeah,
too.
and people run. We hate. I don't want to be. No, but you got to remember, people do.
Yeah.
People don't always respect that red light.
Absolutely.
And so therefore they feel this is and this will have. There might be fender benders, but there won't be that huge impact.
Yeah.
And fender benders are a lot better than the huge impact. So
Absolutely.
we just have to trust the system, and and they have seen in other communities that they have worked. So we'll see, and this is something that will, and we have asked for something to be done.
Yeah.
And families in our community and surrounding communities have asked, please do something. And so this was what
it's our gift.
That's our gift. It's a gift.
And we're going to take it.
We're going to open that gift up soon.
I hope.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's stay positive. Yeah, stay positive.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Well, you remember whenever we did the when the bypass was done.
Yeah,
remember, everybody was against that. You remember? Yeah, and that's worked out well. Matter of fact, now that it's closed, everybody's like not real happy about that. So
absolutely,
so we'll be anxious to get that open back and get that going. And I do believe for medical reasons, it's a lot easier.
Yes.
And I pray, because I feel like when there's an emergency, seconds matter. So
absolutely.
So we'll see how it goes.
Do we want these COVID numbers?
We do, Laura. Yep, that's exactly what you can see it in my eyes.
I know.
Laura, yeah, crazy eyes over
These are as of Thursday, August 26th. For the state, we had 4,893 new cases, 21 new deaths, for a 7-day positivity rate of 10.8. The vaccine, fully vaccinated, we have 3,072,178. fully vaccinated. Our local listening area, we had 506 new cases. Lawrence County, 71 new cases. Jackson County, 33 new cases. Jennings County, 34 new cases. Orange County, 32 new cases. Washington County, 22 new cases, 1 new death. Scott County, 27 new cases. Clark County, 102 new cases, 1 new death. Floyd County, 63 new cases, 1 new death. Harrison County, 49 new cases, and Crawford County, 24 new cases. For Washington County, we currently have 2,891 cases, 43 deaths, for a 9% positivity rate. We went up an entire percent positivity rate, which I'm sure that it's higher because, again, these are as of Thursday, August 26th.
Yeah.
And I think we've added some, I want to say someone else died of COVID from our county.
Oh, heartbreaking.
It really is.
We just have to keep doing what we're doing. And as far as the vaccination, I think you need to figure out if that's the best for you or what I think, I don't ever want to tell anyone what to do. And I don't think, and I know you don't either.
No, I think you need to
do your research.
do your own research.
Yes. Talk to your physician, the doctors. The doctors are the ones,
Yes,
that's
they
the thing.
know what diagnoses you have, what your family history is. Go to them, talk with them, do your research. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Do your own research.
Absolutely. And I think the pharmacists too.
Absolutely.
Pharmacists are wonderful.
Absolutely.
And they have a lot of knowledge too. So I think, get to, and it's not bad to talk to all of them.
No.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And find out, the yays or the nays or whatever, and figure out what's best for you. And I think that's the thing you got to do. I think with anything health issue, I think sometimes we have to be our own guardian, our own police officer, if you will, of our bodies. You know what I'm saying?
I think
our own advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were talking about this reporting requirement for the 20% or greater for the schools to be closed.
Yes.
Remember that's kind of been a topic. Nobody really knows what anyone's talking about. So we have found this per the 512 IAC 1-2-1. Public and accredited non-public schools are required to develop a local attendance system for reporting systems and health outbreaks. The school nurse is required to report any known or suspected reason for the excessive rate of absenteeism directly to the superintendent or designated administrator. Per the 512 IAC, public and accredited non-public schools are required to report to the local health department and the state attendance officer the percentage of student absences when the percentage of student absent from a school is equal to or greater than 20% of the enrolled students. COVID-19 considerations. If students are quarantined, are not ill, and are able to attend school virtually or by distance learning, they would be counted as virtual due to COVID, which means they are present. These students are not included in calculating a school's absentee rate. Only those students who are ill and are physically unable to attend school either in person or virtually would be counted as absent. Additional guidelines. The 20% rate is calculated and reported per individual school, not per school corporation. The 20% absenteeism rule is for reporting purposes only. There is not a certain percentage that dictates a school's response, such as an automatic school closure. Once a school reaches the 20% absenteeism rate and has reported this information to both the LHD and the IDOE, the school and the LHD should collaborate on next steps depending upon the type of illness causing the absenteeism. So there we go. That's how that works. So it's 20% per school, not all three schools.
Right.
Okay.
Well, Well, that's good
little
information.
clarification
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
So
Yeah, and I think that's something that's very important to to make sure that everyone knows that.
yeah, because I just kept hearing the 20%, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize where that was coming from.
Yeah. So it was actually for West Washington, they were hitting some high thresholds out there. I know Salem was hitting some high thresholds,
Mhm.
and I think that was where in Salem it was not the school board, it was the administration that they have emergency powers to do that, to make that decision, and they did make that decision, and we will have a meeting tonight to go over our plan, but that is something that the administration made emergency because our numbers were getting so high.
Absolutely.
All right, and also, of course, we know there's meals being done too, and what a
Yes.
blessing for our school corporation, and also the virtual. And hats off to our teachers, and of course,
Absolutely.
everybody involved. You know what I mean? Everybody's like kicking in, aren't they?
Yes, it takes a lot. It
a-
takes
A huge village.
a lot to get all of that on the drop of a dime, and all of the schools have done a great job, and I know it's not what I want for my kids, but you know what, we make the best of it every time, and it just is what it is. We're going to do our best and make the best of it, and COVID's something they're never going to forget.
Definitely. Well, Laura, I appreciate you hanging out with me, and
Thanks for
keep up the
having
great
me.
work at Salem Crossing and Meadowview and all that you do, and all those heroes over there. Every day
Absolutely.
kicking
They're
up and
tired.
doing a great job.
They're very tired.
They're very.
but
I'm sure they are.
They're still there every day.
Well,
making
I'm
a
going to give them big
difference.
snaps, claps, and and praise to them. Hats off, and I hope that if one's listening, that you know how valuable you are and what a great job you're doing.
Absolutely.
So keep up the great work. Yeah, Laura, keep everybody doing. Yeah, encouraging.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I saw my daughter mask up and gown up and do all that. I brought her a water the other day, and I about bawled as a
Yeah.
mom. Yeah.
It's a lot, but
Anyway,
it's worth it.
yeah,
In the end, it'll be worth it.
absolutely.
What I always say.
All right, let's thank our sponsors.
Absolutely. We have Walmart, Meadowview, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Kentucky Cat & Court, and Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have
Happy
a wonderful
Monday.
Monday. Happy Monday. Be careful with the rain and the storms.
Absolutely.
And flooding.
Hi, I'm Quinn Buck, a proud member of the American Senior Community School. On the court, I've seen my fair share of victories, but as a nation, we now seek a victory through vaccination. Come on, give me a beat.
I took it.
Of course I took it. The COVID vaccine may feel rushed, but is actually the result of focused collaborative work by experts. Safety steps have not been skipped.
Give me a beat.
American Senior Communities, where caring people and teamwork make the difference.